Hey, welcome to Viking Preparedness. I am Pastor Joe Fox. So, for those of y'all thinking about setting up your own place in the country, you want to get away from the hubbub, the city, the suburbs, and you just kind of want to be out in nature, I get that. And so you get a plot of land, and you're going to put a trailer on it, or a tent on it, or build a little cabin on it, or build a full-fledged house on it. And you have to start thinking about developing the land. And this is a better picture. You have to think about clearing things like road and spaces for houses and such like. And one question that always comes into mind is, how many trees are we going to clear? We want trees, especially if we're off-grid, for shade, because you don't have air conditioning in most cases. You want to shade the hot sun. You want to have a windbreak, in the wintertime and things like that. But we've come to a conclusion here on Shofar Mountain, and I just got an email from Chris, who's one of the berserkers, and she said, you can do a video based on what I'm telling you. So I'm going here for a purpose. I'm going right here for a reason. The other night we had a big storm, like tornado watches and stuff. Can you see that tree right there? Let's go see that tree. It just blew right over. We have trees fall here with amazing regularity, horrifying regularity. And so on this, the avocatage, and the reason that white's on there is because we're going to go back and repaint some green, and that's like a primer. I had a brother come down, and I did some videos on it, I don't know, a couple months ago, and he's a professional tree guy. I don't know what you call him, but he trims trees, prunes trees, chops trees down, does all kinds of things with trees. And we took down every tree tall enough that if it fell towards the house, even if it was leaning away from the house, if it fell towards the house, it could hit the house. We cut them all down. And it kind of hurt me a little bit when I did that, because, I like the avocatage nestled into the woods, but you'll notice now there's still a lot of greenery around it, with low shrubby trees. And when you're doing solar, your panels have to be in the sunlight. And so, yeah, trees gotta go. Think about that before you set your trailer in or start building your house or building the foundation. You can cut down the tree if you're not trying to avoid hitting anything. And I'm talking about average Joe or Jane homesteader, right? You can watch enough YouTube videos and you can do it safely, and you can be chopping down some trees. One thing you have to be careful about, especially when you're in woods, like this thick, is if I want to drop this tree and you say, all right, I'm going to try and fall it this way, you don't really want it to get hung up in another tree. That creates a problem. And so you may have to cut down a couple trees in front of where it's going to go. But, what's the worst that can happen, right? It falls, it gets hung up facing away from where you're going to put your structure anyway. It should all be good. What you don't want to do is build your house and then decide, ooh, that tree's too close. Ooh, that tree's leaning towards my house. Because then you're going to have to get a professional to come do it. Or you risk dropping a tree through the center of your house, or cabin, or trailer, or whatever. And so the key point, again, because I just want to hit it, cut the trees down before you move your camper in, set your tent up, or start building your structure. It's a lot easier, you can do it, and it's a lot cheaper. Unless you have friends or brethren like I do who just volunteered their expertise, time, and professionalism to come do it. But what I've done here, we have not yet named our house, but what I've done here is I have cut down every tree around our house that if it fell could hit the house. And I've got my eye on some little ones that I will cut down before they become a problem and require a professional. Trees fall. If a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to hear it, does it make any noise? Yes. But yeah, think about that. Don't get caught short where, you know, can you imagine? I had a tree, well there. Can you see it back there? Can you see the stump right back there? That tree was kind of leaning towards my house and my truck. I don't have insurance on this house. Are you kidding me? That could have been a disaster, you know, of epic proportions. So cut down your trees. Don't be afraid to do it. Save them. You know, the guy who came out here and helped me, I think he was a little bit surprised. Matter of fact, I'll take you back there. I think he was a little bit surprised about that I wanted to save all the wood. Even the ends of the branches we stacked up because we use that for kindling to get our wood stoves going. And we just want dead little twigs that we can snap, 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 and we put them in a bucket, bring the bucket into the house, and that's what we use to start our fires. And you know, normally I think what he does when he cuts down a tree and all the outer branches of the tree they put in a big pile and they burn them, right? And sure, they'll save the trunk for usable firewood or timber or something. But wow, it just rained really hard again today on top of all the rain we had. And so it's a flood down here. But can you see this back here? This is just a brush pile. And my brother who came down here and helped us cut down all these trees, he showed me how to do brush piles. I think I talked about that earlier. But that's a nice, neat, and orderly one. But we'll be using that this winter to just snap, snap, snap to make our kindling for our wood stove. But yeah, there are no trees big enough up here to fall and hit my house. Think about that. I know you want to nestle your little cabin in amongst the stately oaks or stately pines. I strongly recommend against it. All right. I hope that was helpful. I'll see you out there.